Hey everyone, another great day, Tuesday morning. Yesterday we wrapped up a conversation with Coach Nelson and myself. We talked about a whole bunch of interesting things. We posted on our YouTube channel, Coach Adam Dare. We posted on LinkedIn Own Your Fitness, Adam Dare. The topic was how to sell personal training slash sales slash rejection, fear of rejection. Today we're coming up to a great topic. It's a little bit um, serious in terms of like where our industry is going and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to welcome Coach Nelson.
Yes.
Welcome.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
And I'm going to go ahead and ask this because I had a very interesting conversation with a physical therapist, a doctor in physical therapist years ago when I attended a seminar. And the question goes like this. What are the pros about not having government regulations in the personal training industry?
Yes. So that's such an interesting debate. I've been in the industry for almost 2 decades and it still comes up. So to give a background for any of the listeners, the personal training industry is what it is. You have to accept that there is no government regulation, not in the same sense as other disciplines like physical therapy, where you have to go to school, you get your certification, you have to present to a board. Other professions like massage therapy, and these are your coworkers that you work with at gym. Massage therapy, they have to go through health code inspection. So there's an actual protocol that they have to follow also. In the personal training world, there's the regulations are a little bit more lax, almost to the point they're non-existent, especially when it comes to local and state and federal guidelines. That could be a good and a bad thing depending on where you stand on the issue. So in terms of the pros, what that makes the service available, it makes it affordable, makes it more accessible. And we all know the value of fitness, where more people just need to be fit. So when there's no government regulation, when there's a little bit more relaxation of the rules, then the service offering can be sold at a cheaper rate. Now, it is up to the health professional, it is up to the fitness professional to pick and choose which price actually works for their services and their credibility. But in order to get started, to be honest, there's a low barrier of entry. So yes, one way is personal trainers can go to organizations like IRSA or AFA or NASM, get their certificate. But in reality, many people will not do that as well. So they'll go into different coaching programs or not even be a coach, certification program, be in one of those, but use their years of experience in order to qualify themselves as a legitimate personal trainer, start working with clients. The pro about that is it makes the barrier to entry into the profession lower, but it also gives the freedom for any fitness professional to create what they want. So you will now see a lot of fitness professionals not only work in a gym, but they'll go into online virtual training, they'll go into social media influence, but nevertheless, they fall into the realm of personal trainers because they're somehow working in some type of fitness capacity. So it democratizes the whole process in order to launch a fitness business, sole proprietor or what have you. So that's
Yeah, there's some good pros. Us living in America, we have the opportunity to go and get what we want, and it's pro business and pro innovation and whatnot. And I think I like the point that you brought up, that you brought up two different things. A, you want to get certified with no experience, 21-year-old, and
Yep.
boom, now he's legitimately. And the question then arises, well, how good is he or her, right? And the
Yeah.
second question, then you brought up a light on someone that's has the years of experience, has the talent, has the expertise by not being certified, and they create what they want to do. They carve their own niche.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. You brought up some good points. What are the cons though?
So that's going to be the opposite side of the debate. I'm glad we could talk about that. So if the entry to barrier in any type of profession is pretty low, and they unfortunately have a lot of too much of freedom, creative freedom, it can also pave the way for unqualified people to call themselves a personal trainer. So you may have had this experience. People probably have had this experience when they walk into a gym and you see people doing exercises you know they shouldn't be doing, but their personal trainer have told them that they can. It is also, it can cause consumer confusion. So as a consumer, if I don't know if I'm overweight and I'm trying to find the right coach for me, the right personal trainer for me, what program should I choose? Should I talk to this younger personal trainer? I don't know what type of certifications that person has, if that person is certified. Does that person have insurance? Did this person qualify to give me the right advice? And it can be a serious thing because I, as a consumer, am physically giving you my body and I'm physically entrusting you with my health and my nutrition. But are you legally, financially capable of delivering a high quality service?
Mhm.
So it does pave the way for a lot of people to take advantage of that freedom, unfortunately, and say that they are personal trainers, even though there is no necessarily a standard for all of us to abide by. So
Right.
immediate qualification, especially in the consumer's mindset, that gets really, really confusing. Another thing is going forward, and this has always been a challenge for our industry working with the medical community. So one of the long-term goals, and I think many fitness professionals share the same thing, is that we want to work more closely with medical professions, but eventually get actually covered by medical insurance. So right now, the way a lot of insurance policies work is that they will cover all the way up to the point of physical therapy, and then there's personal training. So a lot of physicians and a lot of people generally know the value of exercising, okay, of staying fit. But it's really hard for those insurance policies to assess the risk of personal trainers because there is no standard. At least with physical therapy, there's a board. There are standard operating procedures, there's standard protocol. And so insurance policies can better assess the risk of working with a physical therapist because they're vetted by a third-party organization. But because personal training world is kind of like the wild, wild west, there's no standards, so it's really hard to assess the overall risk. You see personal trainers go from low impact, low risk activities, things like yoga or gentle yoga, all the way up into CrossFit and high contact sports. Well, it's really hard for anyone in the medical community to make a solid recommendation is you should go see a personal trainer. There's such a wide variety.
Mm.
So long term, we know the goal is to work closer with the medical community, but what the medical community is looking for, especially their insurance policy, is some type of standardization. So there's always going to be this balance of should we elevate and raise the entry barrier for our profession, or should we lower it? There's
Yeah.
always going to be a give and take.
Yeah, that's amazing what you said, because it's really just like the scale is this long. Like we're
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why there's a lot of specialties, like hits and body transformation and CrossFitters and soul cyclers and all that stuff.
Yes, exactly.
And you discovered that in the pros as well. So yeah, it's interesting. You know what? You mentioned something like there's a lot of confusion in the consumer's mind. I really want to ask you, what is your suggestion, Coach Nelson, in what the consumer or the average consumer should look for in a personal trainer?
Yes.
How
So
we do.
as a consumer, you're going to have to be an educated consumer. Do a lot of research on what personal trainers, generally speaking, do. What is the variety? What is also get clear with what your goals are, because oftentimes what actually can frustrate both the consumer as well as the service provider is if you yourself are not clear with what you're trying to accomplish. We kind of need more to work with, and I just want to lose weight. You have to figure out like why and what, your reasoning and stuff. So there's got to be more fundamental reasons. So first get clarity of what your goals are. I recommend that. That will also narrow it down immediately what type of personal trainers you're looking for. So are you looking for flexibility? Are you looking for weight loss? Are you looking for someone who has a complementary or supplementary service like nutrition? Is the person you want to work for is a registered dietitian or a registered nutritionist, okay? Or do you want to go for a short-term plan because, let's say, I'm just going to pick on the Southern California market. A lot of people want that physique, but it's also important for their career because they're on stage or they're in front of someone, or
Right.
are you looking for performance? Are you training for an obstacle course race? So get clarity with what your goals are. That'll automatically narrow down the field of who you want to network with and to see who you want to interview with. Now, when you're screening for which personal trainers, first of all, the personal trainer you feel the most comfortable with. Are you able to open up about your goals? Are you able to open up about who you are, how you feel? because you're developing this relationship. And again, you're entrusting your body, your mind, your emotions, your overall health with this person. Hopefully that person is a professional. Then there's the logistics. Is that person certified? Is certification important to you? Does that person have insurance and liability? How much does the person cost? Does that person's approach and the teaching method really resonate with your schedule, your family's schedule? Does it fit within your lifestyle that you can commit to this program? I oftentimes see people work with personal trainers and they're super excited at first, but once they actually execute upon the program, it can be a little too much too fast. Even though the personal trainer has the best of intentions, if the consumer isn't clear that like, hey, this program really doesn't work for me, then that person unfortunately won't get the results because they weren't clear with, this is my lifestyle and I need to work with someone who understands that and has that empathy. Go into this business transaction knowing you are working with a people person, a person who has the best of intentions for you, but you are developing a relationship with that person. Okay, and it's going to be at least 3 months. Okay, so you want to screen them very carefully, and once you understand the emotional context, the financial impact, your goals, that automatically narrows down the whole playing field. Oh, and also deciding whether or not virtual training or in-person actually works for you. But it starts with your own clarity.
Wow.
Yeah. Good summary. Checklist.
I gotta tell you, that's clarity coming like this.
Yeah.
Crazy sharp. And I do agree 100% that you got a consumer first has to know what the goal is, what the clarity is. And then you're like, oh, you know what? I'm not really interested in running a marathon. I'm interested in transforming myself.
Yes.
And I need someone who has a past record of transformation.
Yeah.
I need some, like, why am I running miles? There's got to be a better way. I think that's amazing, like how you narrowed it down. And then the emotional aspect of it, like, do you actually feel comfortable working with this person? Is this person gonna use EQ and IQ together?
Yes.
Is this person a good communicator? Is this person a good teacher?
Yeah.
Is this person a good, cheerleader, or is this person someone that's going to be brutally honest with me and call me out?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there going to be a life coaching personality built into it?
Exactly. It's a relationship. Not you're going to come across some coaches who have this one personality, may not resonate with you. You may see some other coaches, they may not have all the necessary education, but you work so well with them. Of course, they're going to learn with you and make sure you achieve your goals, and your goals may change, but that person's going to be with you on your journey. It really is this partnership between the two people.
Yeah, people put a lot of attention into like other types of partnerships like businesses or stuff like that, but less attention and research into a partnership with your own body, your own health.
Yes, exactly.
That is extremely important. Like, I'm going into partnership with my body for the next 90 days, 120 days, 6 months in transforming my mindset and my body set.
Yeah. You can't have one without the other. It doesn't work.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Coach Nelson. Those are some really good wisdom jewels you gave us today. Quick question for you before we wrap up. Where can people reach you so this way my audience can figure out if they want to follow you as well?
Absolutely. So my website is coachnellytoriano.com. That is also my Instagram handle, Coach Nelly Toriano. You can also find me on Facebook underneath that, Coach Nelly Toriano as well. If you find me on LinkedIn, if you want to network with me, Nelson E. Toriano is my proper name. So go ahead and reach out to me, email me, ping me, DM me. I would love to help you guys.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. We had another conversation with Coach Nelson. We'll keep bringing you some good, interesting topics to talk about and to listen into. And until next show, boom, take care.
Have a great day, guys.